Imagine this. Every single human on Earth just vanishes. In a split second. No slow decline, no alien abductions, literally just gone. But everything else on the planet is left totally untouched. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to dive into this spectacular, scientifically plausible timeline of what happens to our world when its most dominant species is suddenly removed from the equation. So, what if every human vanished tomorrow? It's not just a fun thought experiment. It's actually a fascinating lens to look at our physical footprint. Just picture an eerie, cinematic silence abruptly dropping over places like New York, Tokyo, and London. The traffic stops. That constant, everyday hum of civilization completely halted. It's like the whole planet is suddenly holding its breath. And just like that, the global human population drops to exactly zero. In a fraction of a second, Earth is left totally to its own devices. Now, what I really want you to take away from this explainer isn't just a simple list of how our buildings fall apart. It's a profound understanding of the sheer awe-inspiring power of nature as it rushes in to fill the massive vacuum we leave behind. Section 1. The lights go out, the first week. Almost immediately, the illusion of our self-sustaining modern world completely shatters. Within the very first 24 hours, fossil fuel plants burn through their immediate supplies and just shut down. Fast forward to day 3. Dust settles on solar panels, automated systems detect unmonitored faults, and wind and solar grids safely shut themselves off. But here's where it gets kind of terrifying. At the 1-week mark, the backup diesel generators at nuclear power plants finally run out of fuel, and that means their vital cooling systems fail entirely. And that loss of electricity, it triggers a massive cascading failure across all our urban infrastructure. Once the power grid goes down, the giant automated water pumps hidden beneath our cities immediately shut off. Because of this, underground tunnels and subways flood completely. Without constant human intervention and electricity fighting back the groundwater, subterranean networks all over the world basically drown within a matter of days, completely reverting back to the underground rivers they originally were. Section 2. Survival of the fittest, 1 month later. With the cities now dark and flooded, a harsh, unavoidable contrast emerges in the animal kingdom. On one hand, you have millions of trapped pets and livestock locked in homes or fenced in pastures, suddenly without the humans they rely on. Honestly, their reality is incredibly bleak. But on the flip side, wild predators, completely unrestricted and hungry, these species that we once pushed to the absolute fringes begin rapidly expanding their territories, moving right into our silent, undefended neighborhoods. The wild literally re-enters the city. Picture packs of wild dogs and coyotes just wandering down totally empty, multi-lane highways. Bears freely exploring suburban driveways, casually sniffing around abandoned, rusting cars. Those invisible, artificial boundaries we built up between nature and civilization, they vanish almost instantly. Section 3. The Silent Spring, 1 year later. By now, the initial chaos of those first few months has settled, and nature's relentless reclamation kicks into high gear. Without our constant course corrections, low-orbit satellites literally fall out of the sky like meteors, burning up spectacularly in the atmosphere. Down on the ground, lightning strikes spark massive fires, and with no firefighters around to respond, these blazes burn entirely unchecked. They act as a sort of natural reset button for our urban landscapes. And right from the ashes, pioneer plant life aggressively starts invading the concrete. And let me tell you, these pioneer plants dismantle our infrastructure with devastating efficiency. Massive weed and vine expansions just blanket surface areas. Beneath them, these incredibly powerful root systems act like slow-motion crowbars, physically cracking through thick concrete foundations. Finally, moss completely covers up the asphalt. Without us constantly pulling weeds and paving over things, the gray of our cities rapidly turns into a vibrant, thriving green. Section 4. Nature reclaims the concrete, 10 to 100 years. As we enter the decades and centuries, our timeline slows down a bit into this majestic era where our greatest monuments finally surrender to the elements. At the 10-year mark, unchecked moisture causes wooden structures to rot, and suburban roofs just cave in under the weight of undisturbed snow and fallen leaves. Fast forward to 50 years, and the sealant holding skyscrapers together degrades, causing thousands of glass facades to shatter and rain down onto the overgrown streets below. And by 100 years, our crowning architectural achievements, those massive steel suspension bridges, finally snap. Now, you might be wondering, why exactly do they snap? Well, it all comes down to galvanic corrosion. It's an electrochemical process where metal structures rapidly rust, weaken, and fail. You see, without humans constantly out there applying protective coatings of paint and sealant, the moisture, oxygen, and salt in the air ruthlessly attack the bare steel. Those massive bridges literally flake away, bit by bit, until they can no longer hold their own weight, plunging straight into the rivers below. But hey, while our concrete and steel cities are crumbling above ground, an absolutely profound environmental recovery is happening elsewhere. The oceans heal. Fish populations absolutely explode. Within just a century of industrial commercial fishing coming to a complete dead stop, the oceans return to their pristine, thriving states. Coral reefs recover, marine life multiplies exponentially, and the waters of the earth completely reclaim their natural, vibrant rhythm.
Section 5. 1,000 years later.
So, a millennium goes by, and we are now looking at a profoundly transformed Earth. Those modern steel and glass metropolises that we consider the absolute peak of human achievement, they'll be completely erased by time, pulverized right back into the soil. Ironically, it's only our ancient stone monuments, places like the pyramids of Giza or the Great Wall of China, that actually endure. They end up acting as the very last cryptic, silent clues that we ever existed at all. Forests completely consume the skyline. Just imagine an Earth completely swallowed by dense, ancient woodlands, with massive trees towering over the buried, rusted remains of humanity's legacy. Literally everything we built, everything we paved over, is eventually buried under a thick, unstoppable canopy of green. Earth's resilience simply outlasts our footprint. It is a stunning testament to the incredible, enduring power of nature. When you think about all our pollution, our noise, our endless oceans of concrete, in the grand geologic timeline of the planet, it is wiped clean remarkably quickly. The Earth doesn't just survive our absence, guys. It absolutely flourishes. Which brings us to a final thought. If our physical legacy can disappear so incredibly quickly, how should we treat the Earth while we are still here? If nature can erase our greatest cities in just a few short centuries, it really begs us to rethink our current relationship with this incredibly resilient planet. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the world around you, and I will see you next time.